The leaf of plants that receive sufficient nitrogen have a dark blue-green color which promotes photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which light energy is intercepted by plants and stored in the form of starches and sugar. The increase in the use for nitrogen fertilizer for enhancing the agriculture production has been under consideration of the last 50 years. Non-agriculture neighboring human, animal, microorganism and plant ecosystem has deteriorated by intensive use of fertilizer nitrogen. Therefore, prevent bifera together with improving of cropping system need proper use of fertilizer. Have food and food, feed and fiber. Ammonium sulfate contain only ammonium, nitrogen and sulfur that accelerate the process of soil edification.
Mineralization of decomposition or oxidation of chemical components in organic matter into plant accessible form is known as mineralization. Organic and from decaying plant and animal waste is used in end mineralization. Furthermore, unlike inorganic nitrogen, which is added to the soil for immediate response, organic soil nitrogen mineralizes over the course of the crop's life cycle, improving its nutritional condition. In contrast to the quantity of mineral nitrogen available from fertilizer, which is immediately available to plants and can be easily calculated, the release of organic nitrogen is dependent on a number of factors. As a result, a liter of the plant biomass nitrogen with the type of NH4 is converted back into the soil due to the process of mineralization. Therefore, the remaining outcome of mineralization and immobilization is a reduce in the accessibility of the nitrogen added to the soil as fertilizer, and also the limited exchange of this nitrogen. Return of organic resource such as green manures, crop residue, cash crop, and leguminous crop have a distinct response in carbon and nitrogen return in agricultural soils. The synchronization of nitrogen availability with plant required is essential for environmental and agronomic reasons.
Process of nitrogen drainage agricultural land has been identified as a major source of pollution for both ground and surface water. In North America, Asia and Europe, intensification of agricultural processes have resulted in higher production costs as well as a greater risk of environmental hazards such as surface and ground pollution that was from nitrate leaching into the water. The most important reason that is the negative effect on the groundwater and surface water quality caused by agricultural non-point source nutrient contamination that was being determined across several countries, and this crisis is most visible in cool and wet regions that where a large amount of water penetrates the soil during crop plus periods. Nitrate leaching from the agricultural soil can be reduced in order to increase fertilizers such as prevent nitrate build-up in surface and groundwaters. For the nitrogen fertilization in the agriculture crop, it was on the today that for the maintaining or restoring soil nutrients, particularly nitrogen that is critical for increasing crop yield, the fact that N fertilizer is soluble contribute to it is the source of nitrogen applied to crop by livestock manures, and the source of N includes symbiotic N2 fixation by legume nodules, and the small amount of atmospheric N converted to a crop usable form may also be important in this process. Symbiotically fixed N is also important source of ammonia that is readily available to a variety of crops.
Next, I will tell about nitrogen uptake and remobilization. Nutrient uptake is that the movement of nutrient to the plants. It's referred to the quantity of solid which is far away from the external medium. Nutrient generally exist in the kind of iron and there will be cation or anion. Throughout the primary section is the vegetative section. Young developing roots and leaf root are seen organ for the assimilation of inorganics and also the synthesis of amino acid. Next is about nitrogen assimilation by crop. For the most of the crop species, nitrate is the main source as like in the form of organic or inorganic. The initial step of the assimilatory pathway are the reduction of nitrate to nitrate catalyzed by nitrate reductase and nitrate reductase. It goes to the root cell membrane through high and low affinity transporter. Therefore, the genetic diversity of expression pattern of this gene family may also important for this process. Transgenic management for the assimilatory pathway have been positive effect. symbiotically fit and is also an important source of ammonia readily available for several types of crop.
Management strategy for high nitrogen use efficiency in the general nutrient use efficiency has been studied in various types of experiments like field and the greenhouse. However, according to the study available to investigate some plants materials grow in the field compared to the greenhouse, so the improvement of and efficient cultivars will be of economy of environmental benefits to farmers and decline extensive input of nitrogen fertilizer. Fertilizers nitrogen management take into account all natural methods accountable for atmosphere system and nitrogen loss. Genetic breeding to improve nitrogen use efficiency. Development of strains of grains to study and identify the particular genus by breeding through low and high nitrogen fertilizers condition, and also may develop molecular markets for advanced breeding programs. Genetic modified cultivar having gluten probative and high protein contents with the proper amount of fertilizer applications when required to transport more nitrogen to gain and decrease into losing for the atmosphere. Climate change will be significant change in nitrogen cycle processing, which will affect both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem.
Genetic breeding. Development of a trait requires study and identify the particular gene by the breeding through low and high nitrogen fertilizer condition, and also may develop molecular market for advanced breeding programs. Genetic modified cultivar having gluten properties and high protein contents with a proper amount of fertilizer application were required to transport more N to grain and decrease its loss at the atmosphere. Next, environmental impact of nitrogen. The challenges of nitrogen is how to optimize the use of nitrogen to sustain human life while minimizing the negative impacts on the environment and human health. The rapid human production of nitrogen fertilizer for higher agriculture and yield and production cause environmental nitrogen concentration. The last is conclusion. The management practice are more important for indigenous nitrogen reduction and increase occur due to nitrogen fertilizer application. It depends on a long-time agronomy and advanced breeding strategies.